I'm Yuri.
And we're going for a drive.
2022 Cadillac CT5V
Blackwing manual with launch control. Oh my God, that's fast. Flat foot shifting.
Horsepower and torque.
668 horsepower, 659 pound-feet of torque from my hand-built 6.2-liter supercharged V8.
Downshift.
Rev match downshift. Okay, so I am using the flat foot shifting, which is a feature of this transmission, and I do love it.
Okay, before we get into it, what is the competition for the CT5V Blackwing?
Okay, so this car is positioned very interestingly. It's kind of between two classes. So the primary ones would be the BMW M3 competition, the M5 competition and kind of the CS, the Mercedes-AMG C63s, the E63s, and the Audi RS5 or the RS7, and kind of the Dodge Charger Hellcat.
So this is the only one of all of those that is manual.
The M3 you can get in manual.
With a V8 and a manual.
Yes.
And then what's the starting price for one of these?
It starts at $84,990 US, and if you're shopping for a new Cadillac CT5, click the TrueCar link in the top right corner to get discounted price offers.
So CT5V Blackwing, that's the top one, where CT5V was like the M Sports or the AMG 43s now.
Yeah, so they changed it with the CT5 generation, changing out of the CTS generation. The same engine was in the CTS-V, but now it makes 668 horsepower where it previously made 650 horsepower because it's the same engine that we had in the Camaro ZL1 and the previous gen Z06 of the Corvette.
And I guess let's start with this manual transmission. It's so nice, so perfect, and one of the few cars left with the manual transmission.
Yeah, manual transmission and a supercharged V8. So this is a Tremec unit. It's different than the one that's in the Mustang GT that we did love so much. I do think that that one felt a little bit better, but I have zero issues.
Nothing wrong.
No, this thing is great. Okay, so I do have rev matching on, which is a button to turn off. Thank you, Cadillac, 10 out of 10. And it just matches them perfectly. Now I'm gonna turn it off, rev match myself, and rip it. And God, this car's fast.
When you push the button, the gear you're in turns yellow to show that your rev matching is on. But when you turn the car off and turn it back on, it starts up with it off.
Yeah, they did a great job. Like, nothing I can really complain about in terms of the way it drives, which I'll get to soon, and the drive modes and everything like that. The way everything functions.
Okay, rev matching off, heel toe downshift. Comfortable position?
Yeah, heel toe's great.
Good.
I just want to keep ripping this thing because, okay, let's get to the exhaust sound. Supercharged V8, you can't hear the supercharger in here, but you can outside on drive-bys.
From the front, yeah, I'm like, all right, subtle, I like it.
That exhaust sound sounds really good. Let's take a listen to the outside.
So it's like a nice crispy tone. We get a lot of backfires, which is kind of weird for a Cadillac, but it's such a special Cadillac that I don't mind.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird to get those kind of crackles out of a Cadillac.
Yeah, let some go. Get a couple revs.
Okay. You can't really hear it from in here. Like, it's very muted in here.
It's a luxury car.
Yeah, exactly. So they did a great job.
It's a lot easier to live with than, say, a Hellcat, which is also a supercharged V8.
Yes. Yeah, this is the business executive in a suit type of vehicle.
Type of Hellcat.
Yes. And if you guys can't tell, we are very excited about this car. We are at the Canadian launch at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, so we will be driving it on the track later, and we're going to insert some of that footage throughout the video. If we can hit 150 miles per hour today, you guys have to subscribe. And we are flat.
This might be car of the year in manual.
Bog that a little bit. Okay, what are we at? 241, 246. 246, you guys have to subscribe.
234, 150 miles an hour. You gotta subscribe, we actually did it.
Because primarily people are going to be driving this on the road. Let's be real, it's a Cadillac.
People come to the TheStraightPipes for our road reviews.
Yes, and track stuff.
Also, I counted all the reviews we've done over like last night. We've done 470 car video reviews.
Damn, bro. Good job. So since we are on the road where everybody's realistically going to be driving this, let's talk about suspension. This has Magnetic Ride Control 4.0, their newest version. Apparently it's like the fastest sensing thing in the world. I wouldn't argue against that because putting this into tour mode on the road feels amazing.
It's so comfy. Here, push your V mode.
Okay.
And then the screen on the right will give us all of our settings. And if we adjust that down to the bottom, very, very comfortable. And in the stiffest,
track mode is great. Like, it's still stiff, but it's not too stiff, even for the road.
Even public roads, it's not even that bad.
Yeah, so they did a fantastic job with the damping. The suspension's great. It's also found on the Cadillac CT5-V Blackwing. Definitely check that video out because we're also driving that today.
And then compared to the ZL1 1LE,
oh my God.
that thing was way bumpier and way harsher, but it had a similar amount of power to this.
Well, it did have the exact same engine, but yeah, the suspension could not be more different from that car, and in the best way possible, because that car was punishing on the road, but on the track, it was like,
holy. It was unreal, yeah, but that was a automatic with the 10-speed.
Yeah.
Which you can also get in this, which we would highly advise you do not get that because there are so few manual cars left, especially paired with Supercharged V8s. Just buy it in manual and suffer. Please.
Yeah, and you're not even really suffering because you do have automatic rev matching that you can turn off. The clutch is pretty firm, but it's not that bad. Like a Hellcat clutch is definitely firmer than this pedal.
Even though you can only get the clutch in the Challenger, not the four-door Charger, but you don't even have to pull your foot off the clutch, flat foot shifting.
Yeah, so in traffic, it's not even that bad.
Well, I don't think you can flat foot shift it. Stop and go traffic.
Theoretically, you can't. But and if you like supercharged 6.2-liter V8s with manual transmissions, hit the like button because that would really help us out.
And that red subscribe button.
That's a good button too.
Make that button gray.
I think maybe everyone should subscribe for this little track portion we filmed. And the way this just generally feels on the road, it does feel luxurious, it does feel big, and even though it kind of competes with the 3 Series and the 5 Series, it feels closer to the vibe of a larger sedan.
Yeah, it's interesting how the CT5 and the CT4 overlap everyone else's sections so they can like compete on both sides.
Yeah, and we'll do a little bit of road handling. I'm just gonna turn on my rev match because I like it so much, and I'm gonna use my flat foot shifting into all the handling, and holy crap. Okay, so it is very neutral. It kind of wants to step out literally all the time. Because we do have an electronic limited slip differential, I kind of feel like I'm still in control, but thanks to these performance traction modes, the car is literally saving itself from ending up in the bushes.
Yeah, and the performance traction is very similar to every other GM. This is Traction Sport, and it's doing a great job of keeping me in check. It's cool because you can probably dial the modes up really nice and gradually if you did get this car to keep yourself out of trouble.
The steering is also really good. It is pretty heavy, but you can also adjust that through your V-mode configuration. So let's get Yuri's V-mode configuration in the driver's seat.
Launch control in PTM dry, and then we're gonna test out these carbon ceramic brakes.
Send it, Yuri.
That launch kind of sucked in PTM dry. It bogged down too much. But those carbon ceramic brakes?
Yeah, they were really good. And if you did want to count that 0 to 60 time, if you got a really good launch with the automatic transmission, you'd do that in about 3.4 seconds.
But if you were to do a launch control with everything off, you would kind of just do a big fat smoky burnout, which is really awesome.
And it literally just burned out between gears because it's got so much torque.
Yeah, it's fun how you can actually dial in all the tractions so precisely because in so many different situations, they don't work well or work perfectly.
And that was a very good word to describe that, Yuri. Let's talk about that dial that you use to switch those modes that the Corvette does not have, which it really needs.
So you've got an actual dial on your steering wheel, you go left and right, and it goes through everything so perfectly. So no matter what mode you're in, you can easily get to your tractions. And then we've got this V button on the left, so you click V and then your tractions also show up. on your infotainment screen where you can configure everything so quickly.
Yeah, which is so much better than the Corvette because everything was buried in menus.
And then with that, you also have a mode button below the shifter. And since we're in a manual transmission car, we don't get that rotary dial that the other Cadillacs that are automatic get, but we never use anyways. We always forget that it has it because the touchscreen is actually so good.
Yeah, so you just end up touching the screen and you don't miss out on anything.
And then back to the infotainment real quick, we got a volume knob, tuning knob. The volume knob is next to the tuning knob so you don't have to reach across. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. We've got wireless Apple CarPlay, satellite radio. We can rewind. It's not tune mix. We've got a really good 360 camera so you can see all the wheels so you don't curb these nice wheels. Man, we should add a couple of like drift shots or some fun track footage.
And we also have the optional performance data recorder, which you can see on your screen. But on this car, they actually put the SD card to the left of the steering wheel, so you can just see it's not like buried underneath the glove box, which is kind of cool.
Very good, very convenient, and it's a high res. It's actually HD.
Just like the Corvette was.
I feel like we haven't said anything bad about this car yet.
Okay. Gloss black. So Yuri, there is some gloss black in here. I really don't like that, but it is fairly minimal. The biggest part of that is on these carbon fiber-ish seats. It's very minimal once again because the back is all carbon fiber, so I'm kind of okay with it.
I feel like it's not even bad.
No, it's not. I had to find something though. Okay, there's a little bit of cheap plastics down here as well.
Yeah, like this part right here.
Yeah.
Not the highest of quality, but it's a supercharged V8 with a manual transmission. Like, who really cares?
Yeah, and you got carbon fiber everywhere else, and then you got soft touch everywhere else as well. So, I mean, you can't really complain too much.
It takes a while for your brain to adapt that flat foot shifting is the thing you can do.
Okay, so do it.
I just did.
That was flat foot?
That was flat foot.
Oh, so it held it perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then auto rev matching, great. If I turn off rev matching.
Wow, great. How's this automatic transmission, Yuri?
Heel toe is good. A little herky-jerky, but stiff clutch. I'm not used to it.
It's also a little bit weird doing it on a straight road. I always find that to be so weird. I have to do it on a turn.
Yeah, when you're like full in on the brakes, it's easier to like figure that out.
Yeah. Well, Yuri, that was about my only complaint so far. How about yours? I noticed you looking around trying to find something. Damn, bro. Damn, Yuri's silent for the first time in history? I like this car.
What's there to complain about? I'm serious though.
No, dude, it's great.
Okay, I know one thing to complain about.
Okay.
I don't like this color on a CT5V Blackwing.
Okay, let's talk about the looks.
Starting with the color, okay? This is a cool press car color. It's a cool launch color, whatever. It'll look nice in our thumbnail. I want my Blackwings in black, gray, silver, white.
I do actually fully agree with you. And they actually look better than this car in this color.
But there is an orange in the CT4V Blackwing, which is super sick too.
Yeah, we'll get to the VOR when we drive that car. But anyways, this car looks really good, but doesn't look as good as the VOR Blackwing.
From the front. So starting at the front end, we've got those headlights that come down that disconnect. It looks really good. Lots of vents, lots of cool mesh that's kind of like the Cadillac logo shape. Then we got a little bit of a bump in the hood because there's a lot of stuff under there. Should we look under the hood?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. You can see the hand-signed signature of the engine builder. And the part that I don't like about the front end is that the hood is disconnected from the front bumper. There's like that little painted piece that the CT4V doesn't have.
But overall, looks amazing from the front.
Yeah, really, really good. Really aggressive. The headlights killed it on this car.
From the side view, nice, normal CT5 shape. A little bit more body kit everywhere. We got that little rear window thing, which isn't like the end of the world.
Yeah, and we do have carbon fiber package 1 and 2 on this for about $10,000.
And then we can see that our fender flares are a little bit bigger because this is the faster version.
Yeah, and then the wheels, not my favorite. I think they could have done better with the wheels, but they are forged, which is nice.
That's my complaint.
Okay.
The wheels on the CT4V and Blackwing and the CT5V Blackwing don't do anything for me.
I do agree.
But what would be the Continental recommended tire for a CT5V Blackwing?
The Extreme Contact Sport or the new Extreme Contact Force.
And a little road turn before we get to the back end. This is like...
Yeah. It's a lot of car.
This puts you on the... I feel like the CT4V is a little less car and a little bit more in my comfort zone, but this is still so sick.
Oh, this is way sicker. So now back to the back end that always wants to step out. We do have a really nice carbon fiber spoiler, and we do have a really nice diffuser back there.
Yeah, and it actually adds a lot more downforce. Everything looks nice back there. Can I feel the downforce? I don't know, but it's definitely not lifting. The taillights are pretty cool. They kind of come out. It's pretty much the same as the CT5V that we drove.
Yeah, I feel like it might be darker.
Just more like body kit stuff. Overall, no complaints. Trunk room, really good.
Yeah, and then we have quad exhausts, which are kind of AMG-like.
It's exactly AMG.
Yeah, so I don't know. It looks all right.
I think they killed it. I think the back end of this looks better than the back end of the CT4V, but the CT4V looks better the front end than this, but there's nothing wrong with this. Just get it in silver.
Yeah, and this is overall, I would classify this as a sleeper car, especially in silver or white or black.
100%.
Like, this doesn't stick out at all.
Yeah,
like, even with the additional carbon.
And it's like a black grille and everything instead of like the old V's that had the nice, cool, like polished ones, which I kind of think are cool.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're gonna buy this, like, please just get it in manual.
just get it in manual.
Every car that you look now that was offered in manual or auto, the manuals are always worth more used now.
Get it in manual.
You will thank yourself and everybody in your value when you buy this manual.
So now moving on to the interior, the seats, the space, they're very comfortable up front, but they do hold you in very nicely.
Yeah, I think they are slightly bigger man approved. I am very comfortable in these seats.
The carbon fiber buckets, we've got some tan seat belts and tan seats, so that's very nice instead of just going all black all the time.
Yeah, and you can get red seat belts as well. We got carbon fiber on the center console. We do have cups. They passed the cup holder test. What about the visors?
3, 2, 1.
Yes!
Man,
oh, thank you.
Still no real complaints.
No.
Back seat room, I fit perfectly fine at 5'8" behind Jacob at 6'1".
And I fit totally fine as well.
But you're worried that your knee is going to get smashed into a carbon fiber bucket.
It looks a little bit close if you had to slam those carbon ceramics pretty hard.
I feel like you could actually use this as a reasonable family car.
You can, for sure.
And it'd be reasonably comfortable even though it's carbon fiber back there. And then as for other normal things, we got blind spot monitoring, we got the lane keep assist. That's not the Super Cruise, so it's not the crazy one. Heated seats, cooled seats, which is really nice because a lot of carbon buckets don't have cooled seats.
Yeah, and then we have really cool gauges. Everything is digital. We have a couple different gauge modes. I think I like Sport the most because you get the center track gives you the one up at the top.
Looks so sick. And then it's got all the other Cadillac logo lines coming out from everywhere. Come on.
Yeah, no, it looks great. I just like the center tack with the circle.
And then you can simplify it, or you can add more pods for all your stuff that you need on a track, because this car is sick on track, which you'll have seen from the footage that we inserted. And above the gauge cluster, we do have a really nice head-up display that has all your information very nicely, and it's very easy to read.
Oh, and we also don't even have like a Newton meter badge on this, because you know how Cadillac's going to that? Like, what would this have? This would have 700, because they round up the torque to the nearest 50.
But what's it in Newton meters?
Oh yeah.
It'd probably be like
this would be like 900.
But they don't even have a Blackwing badge on this.
No, it's just the regular V badge,
which is extra confusing.
Come on, whatever, man. This is pretty much done in this generation. I think they have officially said that this is their last manual and supercharged V8.
Because it's all going to be electric.
Yeah.
And with all that out of the way, I think it's time we get to the price.
So this one starts at $87,798
Canadian.
And this one is optioned out to $112,545 US dollars.
Because this is pretty much fully loaded.
Yeah, pretty much.
So would you take this over the competition like maybe the E63s sedan, the Charger Hellcat, or the M3?
I think this is kind of more special than all of them. I hated the M5 CS, as you guys will see in an upcoming video for some weird reasons. I think this is near the top for me, especially because you can get it in manual, and this thing's dying out, so I'm gonna say, yes, this is my favorite, because the only other one you can get in manual is the M3.
As much as I like all the other ones, because it's manual, I gotta give this the win, and compared to an M3 manual, like, we didn't really like that manual.
No. Yeah.
Cadillac's gonna end off the end of the ICE era with a bombshell.
Good job, Cadillac.
And on that bombshell,
if you're shopping for a new Cadillac CT5 and you live in the United States, click the TrueCar link below. There's a discount using the TheStraightPipes link.
You can also shop for used Cadillacs using TrueCar. And if you live in Canada, there's a Car Help Canada link below. Big shout out to Cadillac Canada for getting these cars up here for us to review. This is awesome. This is awesome. This is really nice. Buy these cars in manual. dsp.truecar.com.
So let us know what you guys think of the CT5V Blackwing. Is it as cool as we think it is? Because I think we're actually right on this one.
And leave a comment below if you could find something that you don't like about this car.
Do it, I dare you. And stay tuned for our CT4V Blackwing review as well. Subscribe for that.
In manual.
Yes.